in a roblox video. I don't know what we can do. Actually, I think it's the longest on Roblox. Why not? You can chill, lay down, get in your bed, and get comfy. This is donated on the September of Tuesday, 2003. Okay, 2003 bet is called 2023. Means 2023. Guys, chat is going crazy. You actually can find me. Okay, gonna play the longest home. Let's see the direction. Let's see what's the one says. Can you fly to the top of the longest hole in Roblox? Okay. I feel like it's gonna be like this. Okay. And mics. Okay, we got brick. I'll use it out to do it. Flat. Bang. Balloon. What is it actually called? I'm just gonna stay here. Let's talk about something. It's actually kind of like the picture, because all these bricks are falling down from all the way up there. You see that green spot right there? That is the not the you can't see that good at this angle, but let's go on the max for you guys. Bad wind. But it's called bad wind. Mano has like a hurricane today. Where's my blanket? I'm in bed right now on my tablet. And I'm uploading a YouTube video. It is my other YouTube videos with my face on. Actually, when I'm in my bedroom. My blogging in my bedroom. The mic's on one in my bedroom or like anywhere. Roblox right now. I like Super Town right now. Where am I? Come on, admin. Yay, I got the admin. There's so much admin going in my games today. Do I? my friend join me? Why? Why my friend join me? It's right here, my friend. Right here. He's no. He's wearing now. Don't make fun of him. Okay. It's wherever you fell it as can see it. I'm gonna try and do on top but I'm gonna go touch it first. As it goes like and my make a part two. Just don't be too long. Yeah, I'm gonna make part two. For the rest of the dance, I won't wait while it's gonna dance. Which one? Yeah, I'm gonna leave. Yeah, my friend's running us too much admins. I'm gonna plug my tablet in. For the 5th time. Yeah. You know how much times I want to get a Gundam wire. Okay. Oh yeah, some people might notice my character. Gives me bubbles. Account, okay? Don't do the wallpaper, please. Okay, and then yeah, I'm not gonna change. Nine, please. Nine. Nope. 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 Nope, not going to lock down today. Not going to lock down today for the Gundam Billy skin. Billy, please. Give me the Billy. Yes. And I change. No. Oh, glowing way, neck face top of class drop. for let's try head and body. No. 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 Already?
Yeah.
Why?
8 o'clock.
More the bedtime story.
I'll put a bedtime story on.
I'm in my bed now. I'm in my bed now. I'm in my bed now.
Hobbycraft. Express yourself this autumn. And round the last corner before this already beautiful day gets even better. It's Mario. He sent you a special invitation to race with him in his new cart. He thinks he'll win because his cart is full of the best technology in all of the Mushroom Kingdom. And you are happy to let him think that. He pulls up beside your cart and revs the engine, confident that he will be victorious in this race. That's before he sees how you've upgraded your cart with technology he's never seen before.
What
So
is
just
it?
plug it back in because it's been pulled.
Yay! I want to be raw. Look what we here.
Once upon a time, there lived a little fox.
I got the chapters in it.
The Adventures of Pinocchio, Chapter 1, Only a Piece of Wood.
In the small village of Arbora, Italy, there lived an old carpenter. His name was Geppetto. He lived alone in his small house. He had no wife and no children. When it was very late at night, he was often lonely. Every morning, Geppetto went into the forest to collect wood for carving. This branch is heavy like a table leg, but it is too short. I don't like it, he said. This log is wide like a bowl, but it is not deep enough. I don't like it. This is a good piece of wood, but it is too small. I can't make anything out of this. Geppetto threw the wood on the ground.
Ouch!
Said a voice. What? Who said that? Is someone there? Geppetto asked the forest. He was very confused. He turned around and looked deep into the forest, but saw no one. I must be imagining things, he said, and he kept walking.
Hey, don't leave me here. I'm not too small. I am good wood. You can make something out of me.
The voice said again. Geppetto looked back and was very surprised. It was a talking piece of wood. I must be crazy, Geppetto cried.
That's right. You are crazy. You left a fine piece of wood in the forest.
No, I must be crazy because I am talking to a piece of wood.
Hey, I am made of very smart pine.
The wood said, offended. Yes, but you are only a piece of wood.
Only a piece of wood? Take me home, sir, and I will show you I am not only a piece of wood.
Geppetto was worried that he was crazy, but he was also lonely. This talking piece of wood might know interesting stories or funny jokes, he said to himself. He decided to take the wood home. What should I do with you? I could carve you into a rolling pin for dough, or I could carve you into a small birdhouse, Geppetto said.
What? I don't want to be carved. That sounds painful,
said the piece of wood. Well, if I don't carve you into something, you will only be a piece of wood.
Fine, you can carve me into something. But please, make it something interesting,
said the wood hopefully.
I don't want to be a rolling pin, and I don't like birds. I want to see the world and go on adventures.
How about a pipe? A rich traveler could take you with him, offered Geppetto.
No, I don't like smoke.
I could carve you into chess pieces. Every day would be a game, said Geppetto, proud of this idea.
No, you don't understand. I want to run. I want to walk. I want to talk. How about a boy? Can you make me into a boy?
A boy? Geppetto touched his nose, thinking.
Yes, please. I promise to be a good boy, too,
the wood said.
If you carve me into a boy, that means I will be your son. We can live together and have fun,
it added. The piece of wood didn't really want to live with Geppetto. It wanted to travel the world and go on adventures. But the wood said this, hoping Geppetto would agree. A boy? Yes, I think that is a good idea. Let's get started right away, said Geppetto as he smiled a very big smile. He was happy to have a son. He was happy he was not alone.
The Adventures of Pinocchio, Chapter 2. A big name for a small boy.
Geppetto carried his talking wood home carefully. Geppetto's home was simple and clean. He had one large room with a bed, a table, his tools, and a stove. Although Geppetto worked hard, he did not have very much money, but he didn't mind. Now, where should I start? He wondered aloud. I've never made a boy before.
Start with the legs. That way I can run fast,
said the wood. No, I think you had better have eyes first, so you don't run into walls. I don't want you to get hurt, Geppetto said. He was happy to be making his very own boy. He started first by carving out the face, and then he carved the eyes. As the wood looked more like a boy's face, he became excited about what he and his boy could do together. What fun they would have. There, your eyes look very smart. How well can you see? Geppetto asked.
Oh, it's terrible,
cried the wood. What's wrong? Asked Geppetto, worried. He thought maybe the wood was blind.
We are very poor. Look at this small room. I want to be rich, not poor,
the wood said. Geppetto was sad that his boy was ashamed of his home. He promised himself that his boy would have whatever he needed. I will carve out your ears next, so that you can hear and learn, Geppetto said. Geppetto worked carefully on the wood all through the day. He carved hair, a nose, and a smile before lunch. Then he shared his first meal of bread and cheese with his boy. You and I will have great fun together, boy, said Geppetto as he ate his meal. He tore off some bread and put it into the boy's mouth. Only I shouldn't call you boy. You need a name. What should we name you?
I know. My name can be Prince Edmund of the Great Woods,
said the wood. He liked the name because it sounded big and important. That is too big a name for such a small boy. Since you are made of pine wood, I will call you Pinocchio. What do you think? Asked Geppetto. He wanted to pick a name the boy would like.
Yes, Pinocchio. That sounds important. Though it doesn't sound as grand as Prince Edmund of the Great Woods, I think it will be fine.
He agreed. Wonderful! Pinocchio it is. To celebrate, I will carve your arms and legs so we can dance. And Geppetto carved quickly. As soon as Geppetto finished carving Pinocchio's feet, Pinocchio jumped to the floor and ran out of the front door. Wait! Geppetto called out. Pinocchio, where are you going?
I am off to find adventures,
Pinocchio called. But you don't have any clothes on yet. You can't run away if you are naked. Please don't leave, Geppetto cried as he ran after Pinocchio. Unfortunately, Geppetto forgot to leave his knife on the table. He was running after Pinocchio with his knife still in his hand. The neighbors thought he wanted to hurt Pinocchio, so they called for the police.
Police! Police! Catch him!
One of the policemen was nearby, and he ran into the street just in time to catch Geppetto. He would not let Geppetto explain about Pinocchio. The policeman was scared of Geppetto's knife, so he threw him in jail for the night.
The Adventures of Pinocchio, Chapter 3, Choices.
Poor Geppetto was locked in prison, but Pinocchio was laughing and running through the forest. Pinocchio wasn't wearing clothes and he didn't care.
I'm free! I'm free!
He shouted as he ran.
I can run and leap and play!
The sun began to set and Pinocchio was getting tired, so he returned to Geppetto's house.
I'm hungry.
He said, and he searched the house for food. But Pinocchio didn't know how to cook, so he couldn't eat.
I'm cold.
He said, and he searched the house for clothes. But Pinocchio had run away before Geppetto could make him any clothes. So he wrapped himself in a blanket.
I'm tired,
he said. But Geppetto's bed was too tall. Pinocchio cried.
I'm cold and hungry and tired, and there is no one here to take care of me.
Big tears ran down his wooden face.
Well, if you hadn't been a bad boy, Geppetto would be here,
said a tiny voice.
Who's there?
Asked Pinocchio, a little scared. Night was falling and the room was getting dark. Pinocchio couldn't see anyone.
I am,
said the voice again, with a chirping sound. A small candle on the table suddenly lit up. Pinocchio saw a cricket crawling down the candle.
Oh, you're a bug,
said Pinocchio.
Who are you?
My name is Mick the Cricket. You may call me Mr. Cricket. I have lived in this room for 100 years, but I have never seen such a bad boy as you,
he scolded.
I don't like you either,
said Pinocchio. He was mad at the cricket for calling him a bad boy.
Shame on you for being rude,
chirped the cricket.
I am trying to help you, and Geppetto has been very kind. Is this how you thank your friends? If so, you will have very bad friends. Children should honor their parents, and you have not.
Pinocchio banged his hand on the table. He was trying to squash Mr. Cricket.
I'll show you. I can have all the friends I want.
Pinocchio screamed.
I can do whatever I want. I don't have to honor anyone. I am going to go on adventures. One day I will be rich and famous.
Mr. Cricket jumped to the floor to run away. But Pinocchio chased him and tried to step on him.
You are making very bad choices,
said the cricket.
One day those bad choices will hurt you. You can't run away from the choices you've made. You must learn to do honest work and study to be a good boy.
He chirped and he ran toward the door.
I won't work. I won't study. I won't listen to what you say. I will do only what I want.
Pinocchio screamed. Mr. Cricket ran under the door. Pinocchio kicked the door. He walked over to the table, sat down, and started to cry.
I won't listen to you or anyone else,
He cried. He fell asleep with teardrops dripping off his nose.
The Adventures of Pinocchio, Chapter 4, Good Manners.
The next morning, the police let Geppetto go back to his house. Meanwhile, Pinocchio was at home crying because he was tired and hungry and had no clothes. When Geppetto came home, he was very angry with Pinocchio for running away.
You are a bad boy, Pinocchio. You must honor me and obey me,
Geppetto said.
Yes, Father, I am sorry,
said Pinocchio. Earlier that morning, he had decided to try to be a good boy. Being a bad boy was not much fun. He also knew Geppetto would feed him if he was sorry.
I missed you last night, Father,
Pinocchio said. It was true, too. He had wished Geppetto had been there to feed him and make him happy. Instead, he had been cold and hungry, and that Cricket had made him cry. Geppetto's heart was happy when he heard his son had missed him. He did not want to be angry with Pinocchio.
Poor boy,
He said.
you look tired. You must be hungry with no food and cold with no clothes. Let's eat breakfast, and then we'll make you something to wear.
Geppetto pulled 3 pears from his pocket. He had picked them on the way home. But before he could take a bite, Pinocchio ate all 3.
Oh, I am still hungry,
Pinocchio complained.
Well, you shouldn't waste food. Finish the cores.
Geppetto said. Pinocchio ate the cores.
You're right, Father. That is much better. What did you eat for breakfast today?
Your smile.
Geppetto replied. Pinocchio realized he had eaten all of Geppetto's food.
Oh, Father, I'm sorry for eating your food. I didn't think. How selfish of me. I promise to do anything you ask. I'll even go to school if you want.
Really?
Asked Geppetto. He was happy his boy was learning some manners.
Yes, but first I need to buy a school book. May I have some money?
Pinocchio asked.
Oh, I don't have any money.
Geppetto said sadly.
But don't worry, I'll make sure you get a book.
And he put on his coat and left the house. He returned a short time later and gave Pinocchio his first book. Pinocchio took the book from Geppetto and noticed he was no longer wearing his coat.
Thank you for the book. But Father, where is your coat?
Pinocchio asked.
Oh, I don't need a coat. I'm too warm these days.
Geppetto answered, looking down at the floor. Geppetto had sold his coat to buy Pinocchio a book. Pinocchio cried tears of happiness.
Oh, thank you, Father.
He said. He gave Geppetto a big hug.
Now, how about some clothes?
Geppetto asked. They worked the rest of the day to make Pinocchio's clothes. Tomorrow was his first day of school.
The Adventures of Pinocchio, Chapter 5, Pinocchio Gets Schooled.
Pinocchio was so happy he couldn't sleep. Tomorrow was his first day of school. He thought about the wonderful things he would learn. When the sun came up, he jumped out of bed, grabbed his new book, and ran off to school.
Bye, Father.
He shouted. Pinocchio talked to himself happily as he walked.
Today I will learn to read. Tomorrow I will learn to write. And the day after tomorrow I will learn math. I will be so smart. I will be smart enough to get a job and earn money. I will buy Father a new coat. It will be a beautiful coat of green silk with diamond buttons. He was very kind to sell his coat for this book.
As he talked to himself, he heard music in the distance. He walked toward the music and saw a crowd, a brightly colored tent, and a large sign.
Oh, I wish I didn't have to go to school today. This looks like so much fun,
Complained Pinocchio. Already he had forgotten Geppetto's coat.
Excuse me,
Pinocchio said to one of the villagers.
what does that sign say?
Why? Can't you read?
The villager asked, laughing.
No.
Said Pinocchio, embarrassed.
It says Fettuccine's Marionette Theater, 4 lire. The show starts in 5 minutes, but you can't read. You should be in school.
I don't want to go to school.
Pinocchio cried.
Do you have 4 lire I can borrow?
Pinocchio was embarrassed to beg, but he really wanted to see the show.
I have 4 lire,
The villager said.
but it's not for borrowing. You have to sell me something.
But I have nothing except my clothes and this book.
Pinocchio cried.
Then I'll take your book.
The villager said. He knew the book cost more than 4 lire. Pinocchio took the money. Pinocchio ran inside the tent. The flute and drums played a new song. A few marionettes were brought out to dance.
Hey, they are wooden boys just like me.
Pinocchio said excitedly. He ran to the stage to look closer.
But wait, they aren't real. They are dancing with strings. I can dance better than that, and I don't need strings or a hiding man to pull them.
Pinocchio jumped on stage with the marionettes and shouted,
I am the amazing Pinocchio.
He danced and twirled and jumped and flipped. The crowd laughed and cheered.
Yay, Pinocchio!
You're the best puppet ever! Suddenly, the music stopped. A man came from behind the stage and grabbed Pinocchio.
The show's over, folks,
He said.
If you want to see the amazing Pinocchio, you have to pay for another show.
He pulled Pinocchio behind the stage.
Help! Help!
Pinocchio cried.
Please help me!
Pinocchio was scared of this big man with the angry voice.
You are mine now, little puppet. You will make me a lot of money. A puppet with no strings. Ha!
The man began to imagine the piles of money.
Please, sir, I'm Geppetto's son. I need to go to school. Please let me go.
Pinocchio begged.
You? Someone's son? And a schoolboy? Ha! That's a good joke. We will leave town so Geppetto can't find you.
The big man locked Pinocchio in a cage. He hid the cage under some blankets in his wagon.
Now no one can find you.
The man said, laughing. He packed up his tent.
Oh, Father, I'm so sorry.
Cried Pinocchio.
Please save me. I want my
The Adventures of Pinocchio, Chapter 6, The Great Escape.
The marionette master packed his wagon quickly so he could steal Pinocchio and leave town. Because he was in a hurry, he threw his money bag, tools, and tent in a pile on top of Pinocchio's cage. As the wagon drove on, the heaviest bags fell next to Pinocchio. By now, Pinocchio had stopped crying, though he was still very sad. He felt the wagon bump and jerk, but could only see bags.
I wonder what's in these bags.
He thought.
There must be something here that will help me escape.
He stretched his arm out of the cage, as far as it would go, and opened the first bag quietly. He reached his hand into the bag.
Oh, this bag is full of coins. There must be 100 lire in here.
He pulled some of the coins into his cage. Much to his surprise, the coins weren't lire. They were pure gold.
I'll be rich. Now I can buy Geppetto a coat. Oh, but these coins won't help me get out of this cage. I must keep looking.
He was careful to move quietly. He reached into the second bag.
This bag has too many different kinds of objects. I can't tell what any of these are. Let me pull them out one by one. A whistle? No, that won't help. A spoon? No, that won't help. A book? No, that won't help. Some matches? I have an idea.
Pinocchio waited for the wagon to stop. Quickly, he took the book, wrapped it around his leg, and lit the book on fire. Then he threw the match into the wagon.
Help!
He shouted.
Fire! I'm on fire!
The marionette master heard Pinocchio cry for help, and he could smell something burning. He ran to the back of the wagon and began to unpack quickly, trying to find the fire. When he reached Pinocchio's cage, he grabbed the cage, unlocked it, pulled Pinocchio out, and covered his leg with a blanket so the fire would stop.
Look! There's more fire!
Pinocchio pointed to the wagon. Oh no! My tent is on fire! The man screamed, and he hurried to put the fire out. While the marionette master was trying to save his tent, Pinocchio snuck out from under the blanket and ran into the nearby woods. By the time the fire was put out, Pinocchio was long gone, but he could hear the man yelling in the distance. No, wait! Pinocchio! Please come back! I will make you a star! Pinocchio ran and ran and ran. But no matter how hard he ran, nothing looked familiar. Pinocchio stopped running and sat down on a stump to think.
I'm lost.
He cried.
I can't find the village and I don't know what to do. Oh, someone please help me.
What Pinocchio didn't realize is that there are many creatures in the woods. Some are honest and good, and others are greedy.
The Adventures of Pinocchio, Chapter 7, The Golden Lesson.
Pinocchio was lost. It seemed that no one had heard him cry for help. But just when he was about to lose hope, he heard footsteps. Good afternoon, Pinocchio, said a fox as it walked up to him. The fox was leaning on a cane. To his side was a blind cat with bandages over his eyes.
Who are you?
Asked Pinocchio.
How do you know my name?
We have seen your father, Geppetto, calling for you in the village. He has asked all of the villagers for help, but no one knows where to find you,
said the cat.
Poor father, searching for me in the cold. He must be worried. I must hurry home to show him we are rich,
Pinocchio said. When they heard this, the cat peeked out from under the bandage, and the fox stood straighter. But Pinocchio did not notice. What? Rich? Asked the fox. How could a small wooden boy be rich?
I earned the money.
Pinocchio lied.
Earned it? How?
Asked the cat.
I worked as a dancer for the marionette master, and he paid me.
Pinocchio lied again.
I don't believe such a small boy like you could have a lot of money. I would have to see it to believe such a thing,
said the cat.
Well, you can't see it,
said Pinocchio.
I have hidden it away.
He didn't think about how strange it was for a blind cat to ask to see his gold.
It's a shame you can't take home more than a pocket full of money to Geppetto,
said the fox.
He is such a kind man. I know of a way to make a small bit of money into a large load of money, but I'm sure you wouldn't be interested. Come, Mr. Cat, let's show Pinocchio the way home.
You mean I could have more money?
Pinocchio asked, surprised at this new idea.
Would I have to work for it?
Oh, no.
The cat said, laughing.
We would never suggest such a silly thing. We know of a secret field called the Field of Follies. If you plant your money in that field at midnight, water it, and come back the next day, it will have grown into a money tree.
Wow, then we would be really rich.
Pinocchio said. He could imagine Mr. Cricket telling him that honest work was the best way to be rich.
But Geppetto would love me so much more if I was rich now. Please, would you show me this Field of Follies?
So off they went to find the Field of Follies. They walked all day and into the evening.
Welcome to the Field of Follies, Pinocchio,
said the cat.
Plant your gold wherever you want your money tree to grow.
Pinocchio was very excited. He dug a hole, carefully placed his gold inside, and covered the hole with dirt.
Now you must water it. Mr. Cat and I will guard the money while you run to get some water,
said the fox. Pinocchio did not think it was strange for a blind cat to stand guard. He ran off and quickly returned with a bucket of water. After the gold had been watered, there was nothing left to do but wait.
Now let's go find a nearby barn so we can rest,
said the cat.
Yes, if we stay here and watch, the tree will not grow,
agreed the fox. So off they went with happy thoughts of being rich.
The Adventures of Pinocchio. Chapter 8. The Field of Follies.
Pinocchio could not sleep. He kept thinking of the money tree and the wonderful presents he would buy.
Oh, I can't wait to see my money tree,
he said, but he could not leave.
You must wait for sunlight before you go to the field,
the cat had said.
Yes, if you see the field before sunlight, the magic tree will die,
the fox had agreed. So Pinocchio waited and waited. As soon as the sun came up, Pinocchio ran all the way to the Field of Follies. He didn't stop once.
Here is the field,
Pinocchio said.
But where is my money tree?
He looked all over the field, but saw nothing that looked like a money tree.
I know this is the right field,
he said, puzzled.
Maybe the gold forgot to grow. I will dig it out.
So Pinocchio got down and began to dig. He dug and dug until he was covered in dirt. This hole was 5 times as big as the first hole, but he saw no gold.
I know this is the right place. Oh, where is my gold?
Pinocchio cried. Above his head, someone was laughing. Pinocchio looked up and saw Mr. Cricket.
What are you doing here?
Pinocchio shouted.
And why are you laughing at me?
You are a foolish boy, Pinocchio,
Mr. Cricket replied.
I tried to warn you about bad friends and bad choices, but you didn't listen to me. The fox and cat have stolen your gold. They are very far away by now.
Oh no! Oh no!
Pinocchio said. He sat in the dirt and cried.
I must tell the police. They will help me.
So Pinocchio ran off to the nearest town and went to the jail. He told the police his story, but they did not help Pinocchio find his gold. They locked him in prison.
Ha ha ha, what a foolish boy. Looks like another tip for us, huh, partner?
One said to the other.
No, you don't understand. I did nothing wrong. Please, help me find my gold.
Pinocchio said.
Nope, you are stuck here for the rest of your life.
The jailer said, laughing. Pinocchio didn't know that the fox and cat owned this town. They paid the jailers for locking up people they had robbed. The police had become very rich because of the fox and cat. Pinocchio sat in prison all day, but he didn't cry. He looked out at the stars and said,
Mr. Cricket is right. I have been a foolish boy. I have made bad choices. It is my fault the gold is gone. If only someone would save me. I know I will be a good boy from now on. Please, is anyone listening? I need help. Yes, I am listening,
said a pretty voice. Just then, Pinocchio saw a small blue light fly by his window.
Who is out there?
He asked.
I am the Blue Fairy. I protect good children from harm. I am here to help you. Please get me out of jail,
said Pinocchio.
Why are you in jail?
Asked the fairy.
What have you done wrong? Nothing at all,
said Pinocchio.
The fox and the cat tricked me. They stole all my gold coins. Where did you get the money?
Asked the blue fairy.
I earned it,
said Pinocchio.
I starred in a show.
Pinocchio's nose suddenly started to grow. Within seconds, it was 6 inches long. Pinocchio stared at his nose in surprise. Calmly, the blue fairy asked,
Did your father say you could work in the theater? Oh, yes, Blue Fairy,
said Pinocchio.
My father told me I would be a great actor.
His nose grew even longer at this new lie. Soon, Pinocchio's nose was 8 inches long.
What's happening to my nose?
Pinocchio screamed.
The Adventures of Pinocchio, Chapter 9, Working Like a Dog.
Pinocchio was quite worried about his nose. He looked so silly that the blue fairy began to laugh.
Why are you laughing?
Cried Pinocchio.
I am laughing at your lies,
said the fairy.
It's easy to tell when you are lying. Your nose grows with every lie you tell.
Ashamed, Pinocchio turned bright red.
I'm sorry,
said Pinocchio.
I took the money from the marionette master. My father didn't know I went to the theater. Do you promise to be a good boy and obey your father?
She asked before waving her wand.
Yes, I promise,
Pinocchio said. The blue fairy waved her wand, and a woodpecker appeared. It pecked his nose down to size. Then, the jail bars disappeared and Pinocchio climbed free.
This is the road that leads home,
said the blue fairy, pointing.
If you stay on this road, you will reach Geppetto's home by nightfall. Remember your promise to be a good boy, Pinocchio.
She called and she flew away.
Oh, what an awful thing it is to disobey our parents. From now on, I will do whatever Geppetto asks,
Pinocchio said as he walked down the road. A few hours later, Pinocchio began to get hungry. He saw a nearby grapevine and decided to ask the owner for some grapes. As he crossed the field, he fell into a trap.
Oh no! Someone help me!
Pinocchio cried.
Aha! I have caught you,
said the farmer who was hiding. So, you are the one who has been stealing my chickens.
No, sir, I have not stolen any chickens. Please, I was going to ask for some grapes because I am very hungry.
Aha! You were going to steal my grapes. I'll show you what we do with thieves, he said. He pulled Pinocchio from the trap and took him home. When the farmer got home, he locked a chain around Pinocchio's neck. My guard dog died this morning, said the farmer. So tonight you will be a dog and guard my chicken coop. Tomorrow I will decide how to punish you. Poor Pinocchio. He had tried to be a good boy, but the farmer didn't believe him. He was so hungry that he became tired. So he crawled into the doghouse and fell asleep. Many hours passed, and Pinocchio heard voices nearby. He looked outside the doghouse. It was already night. He saw 4 weasels next to the chicken coop.
Who are you?
Pinocchio asked. They stopped.
Well, who are you?
One of the weasels asked.
And where is our friend Oscar?
Pinocchio guessed that Oscar was the dog who had died, so he said,
Oscar died this morning. I am the new guard dog. Who are you?
Pinocchio asked again.
We are the weasels, and we are here to get dinner,
said one of the weasels.
Oscar was our friend. I will make the same promise to you that I did to him. Every week we would visit this coop. Oscar promised not to bark, so we would give 1 chicken to Oscar and take 7 home for dinner. If you pretend to sleep, we will leave 1 chicken for you too.
Before Pinocchio answered, the weasels snuck into the chicken coop. Bam! Pinocchio locked the door behind them and began to bark.
Woof, woof, woof,
he cried. The farmer ran down and found the weasels in the chicken coop. Well done, he said to Pinocchio. You have caught the chicken thieves. Oscar must have been too old to hear them. Pinocchio didn't say anything about Oscar's promise to the weasels. He only nodded. You have saved my chickens, so I will set you free, said the farmer. But first, let me make you breakfast. Pinocchio nodded again, this time with a big smile.
The Adventures of Pinocchio, Chapter 10. Can you see the sea?
Pinocchio ate breakfast quickly. He was very hungry, but he was also in a hurry to see Geppetto. He thanked the farmer and ran from the house, across the field, and back to the road where his troubles had started. As Pinocchio walked, he saw familiar places along the road.
Look, there is the Field of Follies.
He exclaimed. A few hours later, he said,
Look, that is where I met Mr. Fox and Mr. Cat.
He tried not to cry about his foolish mistake. After a few more hours, he said,
Look, that is where I escaped from the Marionette Master. Oh, what an adventure I have had. But it is taking too long to walk home. I have walked almost all day, and I'm still so far away.
Pinocchio sat on a log and started to cry. He was tired, and he missed Geppetto. As he cried, he could hear a soft voice calling his name. Pinocchio! Pinocchio!
I am here!
Pinocchio shouted, looking around to see who the voice belonged to. Suddenly, there was a loud whoosh and a lot of feathers.
Ah, there you are. I have been looking for you all month,
said a handsome eagle.
You were looking for me? How did you know my name?
Ah, I am an old friend of Geppetto. He saved me when I was a little leg. When I heard he had lost his boy, I wanted to help. So I have been flying everywhere calling your name. I am so happy to find you.
Pinocchio began to jump and dance.
You know Geppetto? Oh, that's wonderful! I will see my father soon.
Well, not as soon as you may think,
said the eagle.
Why not?
Asked Pinocchio, worried.
When you did not come home from school, Geppetto searched the woods. Then he searched the countryside. Then he searched all of Italy. After searching for a month, he has decided to sail to Sicily and Sardinia to find you. So he built a boat and will sail away today.
Oh no! If only I could get there quickly. Mr. Eagle, could you please help me find my father?
Of course. I'm happy to help a friend,
he answered. The eagle carefully grabbed Pinocchio with his claws and flew into the sky. Below him, Pinocchio could see the forest, the countryside, and the sea. In only a few flaps of the eagle's wings, Pinocchio could see the beach and a crowd of people.
Please drop me there,
he said, pointing. The eagle carefully set Pinocchio in the sand and flew away, calling,
Good luck, Pinocchio!
Thank you!
Pinocchio called back. Pinocchio ran through the crowd, looking for Geppetto.
Excuse me, where is Geppetto?
He said.
Who is Geppetto?
A bystander asked.
Geppetto is my father. He has gray hair and a kind smile.
The bystander looked sad.
Oh, I am terribly sorry, little boy. Do you see that small boat out there? That is Geppetto.
Pinocchio looked out at the waves and could see a small brown dot.
Oh no, he is so far away,
Pinocchio said.
Oh, look at the sky. It is going to rain soon and father could drown. I must help him.
Before anyone could stop him, Pinocchio dived into the ocean. He began the long swim toward Geppetto's boat.
The Adventures of Pinocchio, Chapter 11. A little work won't hurt.
Pinocchio swam hard through the waves. Because he was made of wood, he floated. But the waves threw him all around. Geppetto's boat was still far away.
I'll never reach Geppetto's boat in time,
Pinocchio cried. His mouth was full of salt water and his arms were getting tired. But he kept swimming. To the side, he saw a small island. He swam to it so he could rest. While Pinocchio sat on the island, he looked for Geppetto's boat.
Oh, Father, where are you? Wait, I see you! There is a whale by your boat, and, oh, the whale ate your boat!
Pinocchio could not see Geppetto anymore. He thought Geppetto had drowned.
Oh, Father, I didn't save you. I am so sorry.
Pinocchio cried. Just then, it started to rain.
Oh, I need to get dry. Father would want me to be safe and dry,
Pinocchio said, and he ran into the nearby village.
Please, sir,
He said to a man walking by with a coal cart.
may I stay at your house where it's dry?
If you help me carry this coal, you may stay with me tonight.
The man answered.
Oh, I don't want to carry coal.
Pinocchio said, offended. He wanted the man to help him without having to work. It rained harder.
Please, ma'am,
He said to a woman carrying water jugs.
may I stay at your house where it's dry? If you help me carry these jugs, you may stay with me tonight.
Pinocchio didn't want to carry the water jugs, but he wanted to be dry, so he agreed. The jugs were very heavy, but Pinocchio didn't complain. He carried them all the way to the woman's small house. Once inside, he sat down.
Here are the jugs. Thank you for letting me stay.
You are welcome,
the woman said.
a little work never hurt anyone. Right, Pinocchio? How do you know my name?
He asked, surprised. The woman lifted her hood, and out fell her pretty blue hair.
Oh, Blue Fairy, it's you! But why did you make me work? Why didn't you help me?
Pinocchio asked.
I did help you, Pinocchio. It is a good thing to get help from strangers. But it is an even better thing to help strangers. I wanted you to learn that lesson. Did you follow the road home as I showed you?
She asked.
I tried to follow the road,
Pinocchio said.
but I got trapped and then flown and then I swam. And when I stopped swimming, I saw Father get eaten by a whale.
As soon as Pinocchio said this, he started to cry.
Do not cry, Pinocchio. Your father is safe, but he is hidden. I will help you find him,
said the Blue Fairy.
Father is alive? We should leave right now,
Pinocchio said.
No, Geppetto is safe. First, we must eat dinner and get some sleep. We will be stronger tomorrow. I wish I were bigger and stronger.
Pinocchio said.
If I were bigger and stronger, I could have saved Father. But I'm only a piece of wood. I wish I were a real boy who could grow into a man. Perhaps, if you are a good boy who obeys his father, you will become a real boy someday. But now you must sleep, Pinocchio. We have a big day ahead of us tomorrow.
The Adventures of Pinocchio, Chapter 12, Escape to Paradise.
When Pinocchio woke up the next morning, the rain had stopped. He jumped out of bed, hoping to see Geppetto, but he saw only the Blue Fairy.
Do you want to become a real boy?
She asked.
Yes!
Said Pinocchio excitedly.
Do you want to save Geppetto?
She asked.
Oh, yes!
Said Pinocchio.
Then listen carefully. To become a real boy, you must obey your father. But first, you must save him. You will save him by honoring him. I don't understand. How can I honor him if he is not here?
Pinocchio asked, confused.
You must honor his wishes. What did Geppetto want you to do?
Asked the Blue Fairy.
He wanted me to go to school,
he said.
Then you must go to school. You may live with me and study in the village. Once you honor him, you can save him,
she said. Pinocchio was sad to hear this. He did not want to go to school, but he wanted to save his father, so he agreed to go. Pinocchio became the best student in the school. His teacher was very happy with him. However, some of the students were mean to Pinocchio. One day after school, some of the boys followed him home.
How can a wooden head become smart?
One boy asked.
Use it as a bookend,
The other said. All the boys laughed.
What will Pinocchio be when he grows up?
The first boy asked the others.
A little wooden boy!
They answered, and they laughed again,
I'm smart, and one day I will be a real boy,
said Pinocchio.
Oh, yeah? Well, if you prove you are smart now, you can be a real boy today.
One boy said.
What do you mean?
Asked Pinocchio.
Well, if you do what real boys do, that would make you a real boy, right?
He asked.
Well, I guess so.
Said Pinocchio.
And if I were a real boy, then I could save Father faster.
He thought to himself.
I can do anything you can do,
said Pinocchio.
I'll show you I can be a real boy.
Oh, yeah? Well, today we are running away to Paradise. If you're a real boy, you'll come with us.
One boy said.
What is Paradile?
Pinocchio asked.
It's an island where real boys play all day. They never have to do work. They eat dessert for every meal. And everyone is rich.
This sounded great to Pinocchio, so he followed the boys to the end of the village. There they met a man with a wagon full of boys. The wagon was pulled by very sad donkeys wearing clothes, but the boys didn't notice them. They jumped into the wagon and rode to the end of the island.
Here we are, boys,
called the wagon master.
This ferry goes to Paradile, where every day is a holiday and you never have to work. Come quickly before the ferry is full.
Pinocchio and the boys ran to the ferry. Pinocchio noticed there were a lot of donkeys coming off the ferry, but he didn't stop to wonder why. He wanted to be a real boy, and he wanted to save his father. At Paradile, he could do both, and he wouldn't have to work.
The Adventures of Pinocchio, Chapter 13, A Real Donkey.
Pinocchio and his new friends had lots of fun at Paradile. They ate ice cream for breakfast, played games all afternoon, and stayed up as late as they wanted. Every day really was a holiday. They had so much fun that they forgot how long they had been at Paradile. They even forgot about their homes and families. For the first time, Pinocchio felt like a real boy, but he knew that he was still made of wood. So every night, he would look in the mirror, hoping to see a change. One night, when he looked in the mirror, he saw a change. But it was not the kind of change he wanted. He was covered in fur. Just then, there was a knock at the door.
Pinocchio, let me in!
Cried one of his friends. Pinocchio didn't want anyone to see his fur.
I'm not here now. Come back later,
he said.
Pinocchio, I know you're in there because you were talking,
said the boy.
Now let me in, hurry!
Pinocchio opened the door, and there stood his friend. He was covered in fur too.
Pinocchio, you have to help me,
the boy cried.
Help you? I don't know how to help you. Look at me. I'm furry too,
said Pinocchio. Both boys sat on the floor and began to cry. But when they cried, they sounded like donkeys instead of boys.
Hee-haw! Hee-haw!
Just then, there was another knock on the door.
Boys, are you all right in there?
The wagon master asked. The wagon master was their friend. He had brought them to Paradile. He would know what to do.
Please help us,
they called. But it sounded like,
hee-haw! Hee-haw!
When the wagon master saw the boys, his smile turned to an evil laugh.
Now it is time for you to pay for your play,
he said.
4 months you have eaten and played without work. Now you will become donkeys and work for me the rest of your lives.
Donkeys?
The boys cried together.
But sir,
said Pinocchio.
I don't want to be a donkey. I want to be a real boy.
When the wagon master heard this, he laughed.
A real boy? All you are going to be is a real donkey.
He quickly tied a rope around the boys' necks and led them to the ferry. The 2 boys tried to call for help, but their friends did not hear. They did not look like boys anymore. They looked like donkeys.
I will sell one of you to a farmer and the other of you to the circus. The circus will love a talking donkey. Pinocchio, I think you will make a good circus donkey since you like talking so much.
The man said, laughing. He led the 2 donkeys onto the ferry. There were many other sad-looking donkeys inside. Now Pinocchio understood why he had seen so many donkeys that first day. He and all the other donkeys began to cry.
The Adventures of Pinocchio, Chapter 14, Circus Work.
Pinocchio had always wanted to be on stage, but not like this. He was quickly sold to a circus to perform tricks. But the circus people were not kind.
Here you are, donkey. Have some straw for dinner,
The trainer said, dumping it on the floor. Pinocchio tasted a bite of straw. It was dry and tasted like dirt.
Hee-haw!
He complained and spit it out.
What? You don't like straw? Well, have some hay,
The trainer said, dumping it on the floor. Pinocchio tasted a bite of hay, and it was as bad as the straw.
Hee-haw! Hee-haw!
Pinocchio complained.
Just you wait, little donkey. You will be so hungry you will eat anything,
Said the trainer, and he whipped Pinocchio on the legs. Every day, the trainer would make Pinocchio practice.
Jump through this hoop. Walk on 2 legs. Dance the cha-cha. Balance a ball. Play dead.
He would yell and snap his whip. If Pinocchio made a mistake, the trainer would whip him. One day the trainer said,
Donkey, your first performance is tonight. If you do well, I will feed you grapes. If you make one mistake, I will feed you nothing.
The circus tent filled with people. There were so many people that every seat was taken.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Vito's Circus,
Said the circus owner.
I am Vito and we have a special show tonight. This donkey has traveled all the way from Spain to entertain you. He has danced for queens and kings. He has jumped for dukes and lords. He has amazed children all over Europe.
The crowd cheered and clapped, and Pinocchio did his tricks. First, he walked on 2 legs. Then he balanced a ball. The crowd was smiling, and Pinocchio could see the happy children. Then he danced the cha-cha. Pinocchio looked at the crowd again, and he noticed a woman with blue hair. Pinocchio jumped through the hoop and then ran out of the tent. The crowd cheered, and Pinocchio ran and ran. Pinocchio didn't stop running until he got to the sea. There, by the water, stood the blue fairy.
Oh, Blue Fairy, was that you in the tent?
Asked Pinocchio.
Yes, Pinocchio.
She said.
Oh, I am so ashamed. I was foolish, and I was not a good boy. I am sorry. Can you help me?
I know you are sorry, Pinocchio, but I cannot help you anymore. You must pay for your mistakes.
She said sadly.
But I don't want to be a donkey forever. I want to be a boy again. I want to go to school, and I want to save Geppetto.
He cried.
Perhaps you will do all those things, but first you must undo your mistakes. How did you become a donkey?
She asked.
I was selfish and lazy.
Pinocchio answered.
Yes, and if you do the opposite, you will return to being a wooden boy.
She said, then disappeared.
The opposite of selfish and lazy is generous and hardworking. How can I be generous and hardworking?
He wondered. Then Pinocchio got an idea.
The Adventures of Pinocchio, Chapter 15, Better to Give Than Receive.
Pinocchio's idea was this. He thought of someone who needed help. He thought of someone who was lonely and lost. He thought of someone who needed a friend. He thought of an orphanage. Pinocchio knew how it felt not to have a family. Many strangers had been kind to him and had given him a lot, and he remembered the blue fairy saying,
It is a great thing to receive help from a stranger, but it is an even greater thing to give help to a stranger.
I am going to help children who don't have a mom or dad.
he decided. Pinocchio eventually found his way to an orphanage. It was small, and there were many dead trees in the yard.
I will help move these trees.
Pinocchio said. He looped a rope around a tree and pulled. He did this for every tree until the yard was clean. The children saw him in the yard and ran outside.
Yay, a donkey!
They cried.
What a nice donkey!
One girl said.
Could we ride on your back, Mr. Donkey?
She asked. Pinocchio nodded, and the girl climbed on. One by one, he gave the children rides around the yard. They laughed and were very happy. When it was dinner time, the children ran inside to eat macaroni. Pinocchio was hungry and he wanted to be inside, but he also wanted to be generous. So he ate grass and slept outside. Every day, Pinocchio worked at the orphanage. He gave the children rides into town to buy food. He cropped the grass short so the children could play safely. He carried firewood. If there was any hard job to do, Pinocchio was happy to help. In the afternoons, he would sit outside the house and listen to the children study their lessons.
Children, what is 2 plus 2?
The teacher asked.
4!
They all shouted.
Children, where is our nation's capital?
The teacher asked.
Rome!
They all shouted.
Good.
The teacher said.
Now it is time for a story.
Pinocchio loved the teacher's stories, so he listened carefully.
Once there was a man named Jonah. He tried to disobey God and he ran away. But he was swallowed by a whale. He lived in the whale for 3 days. He was sorry for disobeying God, so the whale spit him onto a beach. We must always obey God, children.
Pinocchio sat up.
Jonah lived inside a whale? Of course! Father must be living inside the whale too. The blue fairy said he was safe and hidden. That must be where he is. Oh, if only I had stayed in school. I would have learned the story a long time ago. I could have saved Father faster.
Just as Pinocchio said this, a big change happened. His hooves changed to fingers. His ears got small again. His fur fell off, and he sounded like a boy again.
It worked!
He cried.
The blue fairy was right. I was generous and worked hard. Now I can be a boy again.
Pinocchio ran to the ocean as fast as his wooden legs would go. He was not going to stop this time, not for gold or a circus or paradile. He was going to find Geppetto.
The Adventures of Pinocchio, Chapter 16, The Belly of a Whale.
Pinocchio ran to the ocean. Because he had worked at the orphanage, he was very strong. He swam through the waves easily. He swam so fast, he was able to swim with some dolphins.
Hello, dolphins.
Pinocchio called.
I am looking for a large whale. Do you know where I can find it? Yeah!
The dolphin said. They swam a big circle around him. One dolphin came below Pinocchio to help him swim deeper. The dolphin swam off in a new direction. Pinocchio held on tightly.
Whee! This is fun!
He shouted through the bubbles. The dolphins dove deeper and deeper. Pinocchio could see something very big ahead. It looked like a big blue house. It was the whale. The dolphins swam near the whale.
Hi, big whale!
They called.
Hello.
The whale called back. When the whale opened its mouth to say hello, Pinocchio jumped inside.
It's so dark in here.
Pinocchio said, walking carefully along the whale's teeth.
It's nice and warm, though.
He walked deep into the whale's throat. As Pinocchio got closer to the whale's stomach, he noticed a bad smell.
Oh, that's gross.
He said.
What smells so bad?
I do.
Said a voice.
Father?
Pinocchio called.
Pinocchio, is that you?
Geppetto called back. Even though they were inside a smelly fish, they had never been happier. They ran across the whale's stomach and held each other.
Oh, Father, you are very thin. I am sorry it took me so long to find you. Please forgive me.
Pinocchio said.
Pinocchio, how did you find me? I had given up hope. I thought you were lost too,
said Geppetto. They both had many questions to ask, and even more stories to tell. But the whale was swimming deeper.
Father, we must get out of this whale quickly,
said Pinocchio.
It is no use,
said Geppetto.
I have tried many times, but the whale will not open its mouth.
Pinocchio remembered the story of Jonah. The whale had spit Jonah out. How could Pinocchio make this whale spit them out? Suddenly, he had an idea.
Father, climb with me up to the whale's mouth. Here, I will help you.
Together, the two climbed up and sat on the whale's teeth.
Can you reach up and tickle the top of the whale's mouth?
Pinocchio asked.
I can try,
answered Geppetto. He stood very tall and tickled the whale. The whale started to swim up very quickly. Its tongue started to jump. The whale said, and it sneezed them onto the sand.
Hooray! We made it!
Cheered Pinocchio.
Oh, you are so smart, son,
said Geppetto.
How did you know to tickle the whale?
I got the idea from something I learned at a school,
Pinocchio said, smiling. Just then, the whale began to slide up onto the sand and speak. Its voice was soft and pretty.
Well done, Pinocchio.
It said.
You have proven yourself to be a good boy. You have honored your father. You have been obedient and generous. You have risked your life to save him.
Suddenly, the whale vanished. In its place stood the blue fairy.
Blue fairy? You were the whale?
Pinocchio asked, very surprised.
Yes, I kept Geppetto safe until you learned to be a good boy. Farewell, gentlemen. I wish you a happy life together,
she said, and the blue fairy flew away. Pinocchio and Geppetto waved goodbye. As Pinocchio waved, he looked at his hand. It was the hand of a real boy.
Ah! I'm a real boy! Father, look! I'm really real!
He cried. Father and son laughed and hugged and danced all the way home.
Little fox.
It's finished. Daddy, you can come up here. Daddy! Daddy, please go on the bedtime story for me. Please.
What now?
What a bedtime story, Dad?
Can you go to sleep, please?
What a bedtime story. Go.
I'm busy at the minute.
Mommy.
Oh,
This
Listen, Charlie, can you go to sleep, please?
Who's ready to hatch some cool pets? Click here to make your very own monster on Adapted Mind, where monsters teach you math. Oh my, that monster looks incredible! Alrighty, these pets aren't going to hatch themselves. Let's go! Ooh, I can't wait to see what awesome pet is inside this egg. Let's do it. Do you know?
Little Fox. The Adventures of Pinocchio, Chapter 1, Only a Piece of Wood.
In the small village of our
Welcome back, Storytimers. Today we are reading Who Pooed in My Loo? Oh, by Emma Adams and Mike Byrne. In the bathroom this morning, I looked in the loo. And guess what I saw? Yes, that's right, it's a poo. I couldn't believe it. I called for my mum. There's a gift in our toilet made by a bum. Quick as a flash, I knew just what to do. Someone had pooped here, and I'd find out who. Maybe a dinosaur stamped in, stomp, stomp, and sat on the toilet with one giant whomp. Then ate all the loo paper, even a towel, before rumbling out on the neighbourhood prowl. Or maybe a shark came in here with a splosh. Her big shiny gnashes, they needed a wash. She squeezed out the toothpaste, but got very cross when she realised we'd run out of shark-sized tooth floss. Wouldn't like a shark in my bathroom. Maybe a dragon flew in with a swoop to sit on our toilet for his morning poop. He stretched out his wings and gave my dad a scare when he flew out the door breathing fire everywhere. Or maybe a giant had a big tummy ache and crashed through the roof, making all the walls shake. But that can't be right, I realised with a snigger. A giant's poo? Well, that would be much, much bigger. That does make sense. Did an elephant sit on the bath with a clunk, then spurt lots of water from his giant trunk? Did he use all the soap and the bubble bath too, before realising he needed the loo? What if a lion padded in with a roar? Feeling upset 'cause his bottom was sore. I bet he growled loudly and shook out his mane. He probably ate too much breakfast again. Or maybe the poo was left here by an elf who sat on our toilet instead of a shelf, singing Frosty the Snowman and then Jingle Bells. Hey elf, those are not very Christmassy smells. Pooey. Oh look, there's a rainbow outside shining bright. Maybe a unicorn came in the night, shining with magic like unicorns do, although this does not look like a magical poo. No, it can't be a unicorn, shark or big cat, a dragon or elephant, nothing like that. Not a dino or giant or elf, but then who? Who left this poo in our family loo? But now that I think of it, there is one other. He lives in this house, yes, you've got it. My brother. You see, he's still learning, and he's only 3. He's not quite as big or as grown up as me. I'm sorry, I left it, he says with a blush. It's all right, I say, but remember to flush and wash both It's alright, I say, but remember to flush and wash both your hands very carefully too whenever you go for a wee or a poo. Oh, that was a funny story and a really good one as well because it reminds you to make sure you flush your toilet and wash your hands too. Thank you for listening and don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
That's the story. World.
The gingerbread in the shape of a man. A gingerbread man. My husband will be very amazed.
Drop and subscribe!
Hey kid, I don't know if you've been following the news lately, but we recently had a very big strike.
Yeah, Greyhounds went on strike.
It was terrible. We couldn't draw for like 8 whole minutes.
Vacuum all the clouds away. Now the Nickelodeon. Paw Patrol, the movie. Ring! The phone rang at the lookout. Paw Patrol, Ryder answered. What's your emergency? Something terrible has happened, exclaimed a small dog named Liberty. Humdinger is now the mayor of Adventure City. Humdinger had been the mayor of Foggy Bottom and had almost destroyed the town. So Ryder knew that the people of Adventure City needed help. Come on, pups, pack your things.
Ryder called to the Paw Patrol. "Adventure City is in trouble. No city is too big, no pup is too small." All the pups were excited, except Chase. He had lived in Adventure City when he was younger, and he had scary memories of being alone there. "I'm afraid if I go back, everyone will see that I'm still that scared little puppy and not the hero they think I am," Chase said to Ryder. Ryder told Chase it would be different now, and that the people needed their help. "Now, can I get a yelp?" asked Ryder. "Ow, ow!" Chase yelped. Meanwhile, Mayor Humdinger wanted to put the adventure in Adventure City. He had organized a huge fireworks extravaganza, but it kept raining. After discovering that the local university was working on a machine called the Cloud Catcher, Mayor Humdinger decided to learn more. "We use it to study clouds," Kendra, the chief engineer, told Mayor Humdinger. But the mayor had a better idea. He would use the cloud catcher to take the clouds away, so there would only be sunny days. Soon, the Paw Patrol arrived at a giant tower in the center of Adventure City. "Welcome to our new Adventure City headquarters," Ryder said to the pups. "Whoa!" they all yelped. There were new vehicles and new outfits, and there was even a self-service pup treat dispenser. "Oh," Rubble said happily. The rest of the Paw Patrol laughed. At City Hall, Mayor Humdinger used the cloud catcher to vacuum all the clouds away. Now the Adventure City fireworks show could begin. A technician pushed a button, and a few fireworks flew into the air. But Mayor Humdinger wanted bigger fireworks. He impatiently slammed a hand on all the buttons at once. Kaboom! Boom! Boom! Fireworks and rockets exploded in all directions, causing huge fires everywhere. From their new headquarters, the pups saw smoke rising into the sky. "We've got to stop those fireworks before they burn down the city," said Ryder. The Paw Patrol was on a roll. They suited up and were ready for action. Until they got stuck in bumper-to-bumper Adventure City traffic. All of a sudden, a small dog jumped into Ryder's vehicle. "I'm Liberty," the dog said to Ryder. "We spoke on the phone. I can get you out of this parking jam, but it ain't gonna be pretty." As fireworks exploded everywhere, Liberty showed the team a shortcut to City Hall. The Paw Patrol went straight to work. Marshall quickly pressed a button on a control panel in his truck, and huge water cannons appeared. "That's what I'm talking about!" he exclaimed as he started extinguishing the fires. Rocky scooped up fireworks and put them in his recycling truck. They exploded, bouncing his truck all around. "Ride 'em, cowboy!" he called. "The Paw Patrol? What are they doing in Adventure City?" Mayor Humdinger asked as he ran for cover. Chase spotted a group of people trapped on a balcony and launched himself into the air. "Parachute deploy!" he commanded, dropping toward the group. But after he landed, the wind blew him off the balcony. His parachute caught on a ledge, and he was stuck hanging over the flames. "Help!" he cried. Marshall quickly shot his water cannon and put out the fire. Then Ryder and the other pups helped get Chase and the people down to safety. Chase couldn't believe he had forgotten to disengage his pup pack. He felt he had let everyone down. Luckily, the Paw Patrol was able to stop the fire and save the day. But Mayor Humdinger was upset. The Paw Patrol had stolen his spotlight. So the next day, he came up with another plan to become the star of Adventure City. He built the kookiest, swoopiest, loop-de-loopiest subway train track and named it the Humdinger Hyperloop. Before testing the system to make sure it was safe, he flipped the switch on an incoming train to move it to the loop track. The unsuspecting passengers raced around the first loop, but just as they rounded the top of the second loop, screech! The subway cars got stuck. The passengers were hanging upside down. "Help, Paw Patrol!" they called. The Paw Patrol was on the way. Liberty hopped into her squeaky wagon to join her friends. "Reporting for duty, like an honorary member," Liberty said. After Rocky and Rubble locked the loop into place and Sky secured the train to the tracks, Chase ran along the roof of the building near the dangling train to try to get the passengers down. He quickly scooted along the ledge, and then he suddenly realized how high up he was. He looked down and froze. He wasn't sure he could do it. Sky saw that Chase was in trouble and radioed Ryder for help. Ryder called Marshall to set up a sliding ladder to save the passengers, while Sky flew down to help Chase off the roof ledge. Once everyone was safe, the crowd cheered. But Ryder was concerned about Chase. "Maybe you need a break," Ryder said to his friend. "I have to know that I can count on you. Until you can get it together, I can't send you out on any more rescues." Chase was hurt by Ryder's words. "You can't count on me? Well, I can't count on you," Chase said, and he ran down the street. Ryder ran after him, but when he turned the corner, all he found was Chase's tracking collar. Chase was gone. Bzzz! An electronic steel door locked behind Chase. Under Mayor Humdinger's new order to get rid of all dogs from Adventure City, Chase had been dog-napped. Chase looked around. He was locked in a dog jail with other dogs who had been dog-napped. Meanwhile, the Paw Patrol was desperately searching for Chase. "Somebody must have seen something," Liberty said. Then, at a small corner store, they learned that many dogs were missing. "Humdinger!" Ryder exclaimed. "He hates dogs, but where is he taking them?" Liberty had an idea. "I'm kind of an honorary member of the Paw Patrol," Liberty told them, "so I'll be the bait." She planned to get herself dog-napped to lead the team to Chase. Liberty's plan worked. Soon she was scooped up by Mayor Humdinger's goons. They took Liberty to the dog jail, where she spotted her hero, Chase. Chase didn't think he deserved to be rescued. "I used to think I was a hero," Chase told her. "It turns out I'm just scared." "Heroes get scared," Liberty told Chase gently. "But they push through and keep going. That's what makes them heroes." Chase felt better, but he told Liberty that the doors were locked and there was no way to escape. "I forgot to tell you," said Liberty. "I brought backup." Boom! Rubble's wrecking ball made a big hole in the wall. The dogs were free! Ryder was happy to see Chase. Leaving the other dogs, Ryder took his friend to the corner where he had found Chase as a young pup. "Why would you bring me here?" Chase asked, upset. "You were too small to look after yourself, and you were scared. But I saw the bravest pup I'd ever seen," Ryder said, giving Chase a hug. "This is where I met my best friend." Chase hugged Ryder back. I won't let you down. In front of a huge crowd, Mayor Humdinger revealed his next plan. He had created the tallest building in Adventure City by putting a new tower on top of the tallest skyscraper. He called it Humdinger Heights, and he made the top floor his office so he could keep an eye on the city. Meanwhile, Kendra, the university engineer, tried to warn Mayor Humdinger about the cloud catcher. He had been using it non-stop, and it was operating at maximum capacity. It was going to explode! But the mayor wouldn't listen. He stomped on the cloud catcher's remote control, destroying it. Unfortunately, the rivets that held the cloud catcher together popped, and thick clouds started billowing out. Flash! A giant lightning bolt lit up the sky. Flash! Flash! The overloaded cloud catcher unleashed weeks of bad weather in a single moment. The Paw Patrol saw the storm from their headquarters and got ready to go to Humdinger Heights. Liberty looked wistfully at her friends. Do you ever wonder what it would be like to be an official member of the team? Ryder asked Liberty. Only like all the time, Liberty said. But to do that, you'll need a faster vehicle, Ryder said, and he presented the little dog with a rocket-powered scooter. Liberty couldn't believe it. She was going to be part of the Paw Patrol. Welcome to the team, they cheered when Liberty roared up to them. There was no time to waste. The wind had started to blow, and hail the size of basketballs fell from the sky. Liberty, Rocky, Marshall, get those people inside, said Ryder. Suddenly, a school bus came flying toward them. Deploy net, Chase commanded as his net caught the bus. Good thinking, Chase, said Ryder. You can count on me, said Chase. Meanwhile, Ryder rushed to the top of Humdinger Heights and saved Mayor Humdinger, who had become trapped. But just as Ryder was leaving the tower, it tipped over and smashed onto a building across the street, with Ryder inside. I'm coming, Ryder, Chase exclaimed as he jumped onto his motorcycle. His suction cup tires engaged, and he drove straight up the side of the building toward the gap. Chase carefully climbed across the bridge. Don't look down, he muttered to himself. Then he pressed his pup tag to see if he could find his best friend. Ryder, this is Chase. Come in. He saw a flashing light buried under a pile. Ryder, I see your light, called Chase. Hang on. Chase used his grappling hook to get across the bridge, but a gust of wind blew the rope off course and toward the ground, dragging him over the bridge with it. Dangling from the bridge, Chase tried to calm down. Thinking quickly, he said, "Disconnect pup pack." He was free, but he didn't have any more gear. Knowing he had to help his best friend, Chase remembered what Ryder had told him. He said Chase was the bravest pup he'd ever seen. Chase was scared, but he leaped across the huge gap and landed on the other side. Chase ran up to Ryder, whose leg was stuck under a fallen slab of concrete. With some teamwork, they were able to get it free. I told you that you were a hero, Ryder told Chase. Now come on, let's get out of here. Above Adventure City, Sky tried to get closer to the cloud catcher, but her copter blades became covered in ice. The cloud catcher was spinning wildly, and bolts of lightning were shooting everywhere. Sky flipped some switches, and her copter transformed into a rocket, which sped closer and closer to the cloud catcher. Kaboom! The cloud catcher exploded and blasted all the storm clouds away. But where's Sky? Liberty asked. The Paw Patrol looked up and saw something flying down. It was Sky, with her jetpack. She was safe. Just then, the pups saw that Ryder was injured. They rushed over as he sat down, pouncing on him and licking his face. "How do you feel?" Liberty asked, worried. "Covered in drool," Ryder joked. Everyone was going to be okay. The next day, there was a big celebration at City Hall. Mayor Humdinger had been put in jail, and the Paw Patrol was given a key to the city for all their hard work. "Pup, pup, hooray!" they cheered. Let's hear it for Marshall, Rubble, Chase, Rocky, Zuma, Sky, and the newest member of the Paw Patrol, Liberty, said Ryder. Liberty looked out at the cheering crowd, happy that she had helped save her city.
chess and chess. Got chess. There's the one with the lights. And look.
bed. Come on. Evie, come here. Evie, come on. Where are you? Evie! Good girl. Go. Hey, where you going? Come on. It's got all three good marks, so it should be that.
exactly who I am? I'm Monkey D. Luffy. And I'm gonna be king of the pirates. Wait. Bazooka! You having this me? Navigator. Let's get out of this clown show. Still one more thing we have to do. You want a new captor? What? Pirate? Okay. I'm a different kind of pirate. My fellow Marines, corruption rots like old fruit, spoiling all it touches. The men and women of this base have not failed the Marines. Their leadership has. Since the execution of Gold Roger, we have been fighting an unending war against piracy. But we're not fighting the right battle. We can take their ships, their weapons, and even their lives, but we cannot win if we do not take away their dreams. This is why I am personally leading a mission to hunt down the pirates who attacked this base. And I am taking this squadron of new cadets with me. Together, we'll show these pirates and all pirates that there are consequences for their actions, and we are that consequence. For honor. For justice. For justice. For the Marines. For the Marines.
Come on, baby.